Hey, MNC here and welcome to another video in our series on the top 10 tech stories from 2013. Hopefully you've already checked out the last video from Scottie LaDeaux at the Fortress of Nerditude about the new iPads and iOS 7, but if not, get over there right now and watch it. Next up, we've got story number 5, which was some exclusive insight into the continuing struggles of BlackBerry. BlackBerry's annus horribilis started with a major blow as it was reported that they had failed the security requirements of the UK government's Communication and Electronics Security Group. While it later turned out that the restricted classification was merely delayed rather than denied, and that BlackBerry 10 had FIPS 140-2 cryptography certification from the US government, the reports were symptomatic of large issues within the company. Later in 2013, BlackBerry insiders made the shocking claim that huge mistakes had been made at the upper echelons of management. BlackBerry pretty much invented the smartphone market itself, and in 2009, RIM, as they were known back then, claimed to be the world's largest growing company. But in the last few years, £50 billion of the company's market value, that's about $80 billion, has vanished. It turns out that soon after the iPhone first came out, BlackBerry found itself in an era of strategic confusion. Within the company, the founder and ex-CEO, Mike Lazaridis, thought that by focusing on being the only smartphones available with a physical keyboard as opposed to touchscreens, they would carve out a strong and enduring niche for themselves. But then they went and acquired the Unix-like QNX operating system in 2010, and the BlackBerry staff claimed that QNX brought their own hubris and infected the product development team with incompetent engineers. As a result, the ill-fated Playbook project failed and even caused delays to the release of BlackBerry 10. As sales dwindled, they got more and more desperate, and in what was a significant turning point, the new CEO, Thorsten Heinz, decided to continue to emphasize touchscreen devices. This turned out to be a terrible mistake, as is evident from the underwhelming response to the flagship Z10 smartphone. Last year, from within BlackBerry, we got the shocking revelation that the co-CEO, Jim Borsley, had been arguing for a significant change in direction for many years. His master plan was to capitalise on the popularity of their BBM messaging system. His idea was to morph BlackBerry into a services provider, and for them to then dominate a completely different vertical in the mobile ecosystem. Eventually, BBM could potentially become a de facto standard, and replace SMS, giving them access to an enormous source of new revenue from fees charged for each message sent. However, it wasn't to be. After Thorsten Heinz took over as CEO, he killed Borsley's dream for BBM. Borsley quit the board and cut all his ties with BlackBerry in protest. Soon, while BlackBerry delayed, rival services such as Kik Messenger and WhatsApp had cornered the market completely. Even though they eventually released a version of BBM for Android and iOS, damage was already done. BlackBerry's market share has plummeted from over 50% 3 years ago to less than 5% today. In October last year, due to poor sales on the Z10, they announced that in addition to 5,000 redundancies in 2012, they would need to further cull their staff by sacking 4,500 more. That's estimated to be about half their remaining employees. So what's your take? Should BlackBerry have tried to roll out BBM to other platforms much sooner? Were they wrong to embrace touchscreens? And was using QNX as the basis for the BlackBerry 10 operating system a major mistake? Let us know your opinions and subscribe to keep up for the next video in this series on the top 10 tech stories from 2013.